Okay.
And we're back to a book by its cover, the Ranma Saga,
Yes.
Part 3. Blah!
Yeah. Alright, so we only touched the anime crossovers the last couple ones, so we're just going to start working our way down doing some of the smaller groups of series here. I want to just jump right back up to Angelic Layer first, because it's a show that we both enjoyed. Clamp.
Yeah,
Sweet
Clamp
show.
does some good things.
Some good things. Alright, I'll start with Third Layer by Pimer 1. Ranma and Angelic Layer crossover. Ranma,
Of course!
after watching a tournament on TV, wonders if he could do as well as the newest fighting fad of Angelic Layer. Chapter 10 teaser on hiatus right now.
Yeah, it hasn't been updated since last year, actually, 6/14/08.
Well, it's not too bad. But
it has a lot of meat to it.
It's I have actually read the story, and it's actually really entertaining. It's a nicely done crossover. Normally, it's a bit awkward to cross a lot of things over. Angelic Layer isn't that bad to cross over. You just have to kind of put Angelic Layer into the world. It's not really like a whole world-changing thing. It's just like a little sporting kind of event where they fight with these mechanical dolls that are controlled by your mind on this little battlefield. It's pretty cool. So it's actually one of the, even though it's considered a pretty girly kind of activity, it's something that Ranma could get into. So it actually works.
Hey, there are guys who do it too!
There's like 2 men in the entire series that actually do it. Unless you count Ichan! But yeah, I definitely recommend anyone checking it out. It that does pretty good job presenting itself. It just, if you don't mind it being on hiatus, and probably will come back, I hope. But yeah, it's not bad.
And then, of course, the next one on the list, which is delving into ancient history, is Ranma Layer by Zyme. Ranma watches the final battle between Athena and Hikaru when Nobiki jokingly challenges his hand in the games. Angelic Layer and Ranma crossover. That one is actually a believable way to get Ranma into it.
And
by watching it, he could be interested in it, but he wouldn't really have a good reason to do it since it's a girly activity. But with Nobiki challenging him, which is something that a lot of people do, and it's very canon.
I have actually read that one. It's not bad. It's not. I prefer Third Layer, even though he does actually go for it on his own. He tries to hide the fact that he's going on it. Of course, he plays in his girl form and pretending to be somebody else. But
does he name his doll Rongo?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I read it. But the Ranma Layer isn't bad done. It's much shorter. It's not But it's like I said, the challenge thing is done a lot with Ranma because he really will take almost any challenge you challenge him to. He's
because a real man doesn't turn down a challenge.
So it's both of these ones not bad.
They both follow something in which whenever Ranma does a girly activity, he turns into his girl form.
Yeah.
Which is still quite canon, but it's something that everyone uses.
Yeah, it's another one of those things that's kind of on the cusp of fan and canon, because he does it a couple of times, but it's not as prevalent as the fanfiction people make it happen. I'm
just glad that they didn't follow any of the naming problems that I have with a lot of Ranma crossovers, where they put the half in there.
Oh yes, the half.
Like Angelic Layer, half.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we need to do a crossover. Well, I'll just put a half at the end of it. There you go. All right.
Okay.
So
next, we'll be doing the
Azumanga
Daioh. You said?
Yes, because I'm just curious what it's about.
Okay.
Oh, actually, apparently I've clicked on this link before. Ranma Manga Daioh. Oh God.
Ranmanga
Daioh.
Weird by Shad23.
It was an average day in Narima but then Ranma and Akane met some new classmates. A Ranma / Azumanga Daioh crossover. Read and review, please.
They spend a lot of their time in the school anyway.
It depends on the season, but yeah. So
unless it has some energy-sucking, childlike vampire thing as the teacher, they usually don't spend a lot of time at the school.
What, the Azumanga Daioh people? Or the Ranma? Oh, yeah.
No, Ranma.
Yeah. Well, there's also whenever there's a plot that involves the principal. Or
yes, Mr. Pineapple.
There's a couple one-offs where where another teacher shows up, and it's all about. There's a lot of takes place there. So it really depends on the episodes. Most of them are not taking place at school, but It's basically the idea is they're just literally bringing the Azumanga cast to Ranma 1/2. It's that simple. It's a
For shits and giggles.
I obviously have read this. I don't really remember it though, so it has been updated.
That tells you something.
Relatively recently, though. Well, not it's gotten 8 chapters in a couple months, and hasn't posted for a couple months, but not too bad. It's got some okay meat to it. I mean, it's really
I wouldn't read it.
You wouldn't read it?
No. If only for... Mainly it's the fandom, I guess, but in all honesty, I don't really see how it could be done, and at the same time, Azumanga Daioh just doesn't strike me as readable material.
I actually have read a couple good Azumanga Daioh fics, I'll admit, and mostly parodies, but there was a couple good serious ones, and I have actually I was toying over a Ranma crossover with Azumanga Daioh for a while. I don't know if I'll ever write it, but yeah. That's where it's.
You'll probably eventually will, and then forget about it after the first chapter. Sorry.
Shut up. Anyway.
Okay. Next.
Batman?
Let's work our way to Batman.
Alright, this one's yours.
Sidekick by Arthur Hansen. Another Ranma is Bruce Wayne's son. Because apparently Ranma's mom was incredibly easy. Ancient history, but 1 chapter, 32,994 words. It's complete, so it's a one-shot.
Yep, it's a one-shot, a decently sized one-shot at that, and you know, they do say another Ranma as Bruce Wayne's son. There is a bunch of these. There
is a bunch of them, but I wish that they'd actually bother with a summary.
The summary basically saying, like, it's just another one of these stories. They don't, it's not trying to sell the story to you. Which is kind of disappointing, because it could be good.
It's yet another Ranma crossover!
Oh, I've seen that. That tells me nothing.
I've actually seen that as the title of something before.
Oh, man.
Anyway, in terms of stats, it's good. It's okay.
It doesn't present
itself in terms
itself
of the summary, it doesn't present itself at all. It's like, hey, look, I did one of these! Shits and giggles! Ha ha ha! Read it if you want!
So, it could be good, but it doesn't really show itself well. I don't know. So,
I mean, unless you, go out there and say, gee, I want to find a really nice Ranma's Bruce Wayne's son story. Look, here's another one! I wonder if it's any good!
there was one that I read that was really good called Robin 1/2, where they really tied all the Ranma characters into the DC universe pretty well. But yeah. Hey! Doesn't mean that's really making a bad fic. Anyway, just jump right down to the next one.
Okay, Ranma and Batman Superman Adventures crossovers.
Alrighty. Wild Horse, because there's no space between it. The Man of Steel.
Because that's what Ranma's first name means.
Yeah.
Wild Horse.
They do that a lot. 10 years after the Justice League was destroyed, Ranma Saotome, the Wild Horse, dedicates his life to the true purpose of martial arts, protecting the weak.
So, was he a part of the Justice League before it was destroyed?
Probably.
When was the Justice League destroyed? I mean, I don't really follow DC Comics that much, but I'm fairly sure it's still around.
Yeah, and also the whole idea of, if he's supposed to be the Man of Steel, does that mean that he's Kryptonian?
Maybe he works alongside Superman?
Oh, well, the Justice League was destroyed, and Batman and Superman were part of that.
Well, I mean, does the Justice League being destroyed mean that the heroes were destroyed, or just that it was forced to be disbanded? I mean...
It's really not clear, but it does get you asking questions like that,
Well, let's see. 2 chapters, 8,078 words, that's about 4,000 each. It was updated last year, September 10th.
So, and there was about 6 months between updates the first time, so... It doesn't necessarily mean it's abandoned.
It's about due for a new one, possibly.
But yeah,
it has me asking questions. Would I actually read it? Meh.
I'm not a huge DC fan, I'll admit. So.
I'm more of a Marvel guy, but that's because Deadpool rocks. Moving on.
All right, we have about a little bit more. We can probably fit one more in.
Okay, I'll do the Chrono Trigger one.
Alrighty.
Alright, Martial Arts Mage by Lord Dragonclaw. McGill is looking for an apprentice and finds one in Ranma, up for adoption. This isn't really Chrono Trigger as it is Chrono Cross, because McGill was a character in Chrono Cross.
I'm not too familiar with the games, so...
But at the same time, it's just meh. It has a decent amount of size, but this at least gives us a chance to talk for up for adoption fix.
Well, we don't have a lot of time, but we can... Actually, we don't have any time.
Okay, we'll talk about it next time. Alright, we'll see you in the next part.
Later.
Bye, folks.